in Richmond, Virginia at the Richmond Gun Show. So we're just gonna do a couple of interviews here today with a few people just to see how they're enjoying the gun show, and then also how they feel about a lot of the legislation that's going on right now in Virginia, particularly like with the Red Flag Laws and Senate Bill 64 and things like this. All right, y'all, follow me. That's so corny. I feel like I'm on the freaking Disney Channel. I don't know. Did you leave that in there? That would be like, oh, you're still...
We can keep going.
Okay, but I'm still gonna do it one more time just in case. With Walter and Eric of
SWVAR.
How do you guys feel about Governor Ralph Northam?
My thing is, it's going to hurt a lot of people. It's going to, especially our people in the community, just due to the fact that we see so much crime and violence in our community, and sometimes the only line of defense is what we have in our house. Majority of us don't have no intention of hurting nobody. I have guns in my safe that never came out and hurt anybody, and they don't have no intentions to, just like me. My son, he's in law enforcement, and so they're kind of like on the safe side of things. But at the end of the day, that does me no good, because if I have somebody kicking my door and I don't have no way of protecting myself, what am I supposed to do? Go into his house?
Okay, so as someone working in law enforcement, how do you feel about red flag laws?
I mean, it's like what you just said, as far as like protection. It's not right that, I'm protected, but he isn't in some way, So, I mean, I think it's crazy.
Another thing on the red flag laws. Who says somebody has a bad day and just get into an argument with a neighbor, and the neighbor knows that he has firearms in his house? If you got 5, 10 SWAT guys stacked up at your door, that can become lethal at any given time, just through a simple argument amongst neighbors.
So I'm kind of looking at the demographics of this gun show and checking it out. And with what y'all see and doing different gun shows and, working with people in the gun community, how do you see that people are trying to engage with people in urban areas, or even with the work that you guys may be doing?
It's more or less stigmatized.
Right.
And especially in the Black community, we don't really talk about guns, especially the older ones. They keep their guns stuck in a shoebox somewhere, stuck down in the shoe, but no one knows they have it, because it's a stigma. We don't supposed to have it. We don't supposed to be doing it. Even with my parents, they had the hardest time accepting the fact that I was a gun owner. But why you need so many guns?
Too.
Yeah. Why you need so many guns? What's the purpose of that? Who needs a atomic gun? Who needs this? Who needs that? But yet still, it's just something that I know that I have the right to do. I have the right to own it. Why not?
John McGuire. I served our country 10 years as a United States Navy SEAL. And for our men and women in uniform, we understand that freedom isn't free. And once you lose one freedom, you lose them all. So right now, I'm currently a member of the Virginia House of Delegates. I'm running for Congress in the 7th Congressional District against Abigail.
And so what are some things you currently do to support gun rights?
It's our God-given right to protect ourselves, our family, our children.
Right.
So I'm fighting to defend that. And just last week, I put in 3 bills to protect our Second Amendment rights. So the first one would be that if you get shot with a gun-free gun, you should go to sue the government. Because if they take our guns away, then they're responsible for keeping us safe. And I'm hoping that will expose how important it is to protect ourselves.
So in saying that, what are your thoughts on Senate Bill 64 and what's going on right now?
I know it's on this gun show 2 days now, and there's a lot of people here. So hopefully people are waking up. This is a government of the people, by the people, for the people.
Absolutely.
And if the people come together, and if the people speak, so, we can do this. Rhonda, thanks for having me. So my website, I need an army, I need a team. I can't do it alone. Please visit my website. It's McGuireforcongress.com. All right, God bless America.
have the pleasure of speaking with Miss Annette Elliot. She is literally the organizer, owner of like this huge show. So can you tell us just a little bit about what's going on here today?
My mother started here in 1974 at the Richmond Arena downtown, which is this big old hump building's been torn down for 20 years. And we come here 5 times a year. And our next show here is March 28 and 29. And it's a really great event.
You being such a huge part of the gun community, you see what's going on now with how they are trying to impose these red flag laws. You see what's going on with Senate Bill 64, and you see how legislation or just the social, like the conversation around gun ownership is changing. What do you think about the laws, the gun control that they're trying to impose, and also how is that affecting the shows? Is it helping or hurting?
Well, I don't know. Right now, it's scaring people, so we're having a larger crowd influx right now because they're afraid they're not going to be able to buy their guns, get what they actually want, ammo or whatever. They even threaten training. They threaten being able to own 95% of modern firearms in the state. And that's very scary. What is it that they have in mind for us later?
Right.
Why would they want to take our guns away or law-abiding citizens' ability to protect themselves away?
Right.
So, there's a whole lot of people out there that don't own firearms, but understand why that right is there. This is the line in the sand.
Yes.
This is the thing that protects all the other rights. It was put in there as the second one for a very good reason, because if we lose this one, we can't protect anything else because of the fear that our government at some point will turn tyrannical. So when they start saying they want to take guns away,
it's like it's go time.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, I am here with Liberty for Latinos, and can you tell me a little bit about your story? Because she's actually a immigrant
I'm from Bolivia.
Okay. And can you tell me a little bit about the story that I heard you talking about earlier?
Bolivia experienced a very tumultuous time of transition of power. And during that time, my grandfather was working in the government. And the body of work and the legacy he left behind was exactly undoing socialism in Bolivia. To see the United States start to flirt with the idea of socialism.
How does that make you feel? Like,
I mean, you have angry American citizens who see rights being taken away, and then you have people like me who left their homelands to plant roots in this country and to obey the law in this country, and then watch as the United States of America takes one step at a time, further and further and further away from the founding documents, from the intention of why the country was even birthed to begin with.
So let me ask you this. How do you feel in particular about fleeing a socialist country, and now you're kind of seeing here these, gun laws ushered in, or just the conversations that are happening around gun laws?
Well, I mean, all anybody has to do is look at the footage of Venezuela. When Bolivians see Venezuela and their citizens their guns being taken away, them being afraid for their lives to speak out, to have the freedom of speech. They're being killed, they're being silenced, they're being quieted, and then to see a tank run over the citizens of that country, and those defenseless citizens not being able to do anything. And then to try to tell me that could never happen in the United States.
Exactly. And you've seen it.
Absolutely.
And so that's the crazy part, that people actually believe that these things are not happening here. And that's what I always share with people. Like, it's already happening in small increments. That's why we have, people pushing this legislation. And they kind of drop it in tidbits, but it's already happening.
It's happening, and that's the thing, right? It's a slow progression in that direction.
Exactly.
And the only way to really let it take over full-fledged is apathy.
trench work, Chronicles.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about that and like what you do with the within the gun community?
All my boys from the DMV area, and we just decided to put out objective content that, you know, was pretty raw, straight to the point. Stuff that you won't really see on mainstream media, because we've noticed that a lot of people will shy away from certain conversations. They won't have certain people on their platform. So what our older heads have always told us, if we see a problem, fix the problem. So we decided to jump at it.
Virginia, what do you feel about some of the things that are going on right now with the Red Flag Laws and Senate Bill 64?
I mean, one in Virginia, I don't understand what the necessity is, because we have a fairly low crime rate in comparison to other places. Like Maryland, DC, surrounding areas obviously have higher gun crime and higher crime in general because of the poverty and the lack of people being able to defend themselves. I was just in a shootout in Chicago maybe 6 months ago. So when anybody starts talking about gun control and talking about police coming to save you, it's just not gonna happen. Like,
we're not gonna just let you glaze over the fact that you were just in a shootout. So can you tell us a little bit more about
I didn't shoot. My boy Mike Waller, he's in Chicago. He actually had to put the guy down because in Chicago, Virginians can't own or carry their guns legally unless you get their out-of-state concealed carry permit. So, with that being said, I didn't have one. We got into broad daylight situation, walking to his house, somebody jumps out on us. He had to do what he had to do. And I'm sitting here like, well, does this mean I'm a victim of gun control now? Because had Mike not done what he did, I would have died. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
And it's that simple.
Crazy. So what are some things you think we can do? Because that story right there can be inspiring for a lot of people watching.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think we could do, particularly with Black people being more likely to die from homicide statistically as compared to other groups of people? What are some things you think we could do to get more Black people, more people in urban areas more involved in the gun community, and just even knowing their rights and why gun rights are important?
Education and liaisons. So first, you have to give them a reason to care about the Second Amendment. The easiest thing to do that, here in Virginia, Black codes. This was the first place that gun control was implemented, right? So with that being said, I mean, it's that simple. I tell everybody, no white person can tell me I can't own a gun. Straight like that. And I don't want to hear any other argument. The argument was already had, and we won. You know what I mean? Other than that, education, teaching them how to properly carry the gun, how to load it, how to use it, what it's for, everything. I have a little cousin, he's 6, and probably one of the best moments I had was I came to his house. He had a little notepad, right? He stuck it on his boxing stand-up doll, and he was shooting at it with his Nerf guns. And I was like, what are you doing? He was like, I'm you. I was like, oh. And I was like, that's great. Like, he's not running around trying to shoot people. He's literally fake target shooting. To me, that was it right there. Just being a good example.
And that's what we
for the youth as well.
by setting an example and education as well.